Today we are unboxing The Velvet. This is a Red Velvet mini album that was released in 2016 following their first full album, The Red. 10 minutes before this album was set to be released, SM announced it would be delayed and released the next day. The statement read, "Red Velvet's The Velvet album and music video release will unfortunately be postponed until one day later, March 17. In order to achieve a higher degree of perfection, we ask for your understanding." The title track for this album is One of These Nights, a ballad that many people have theorised as being an ode to the victims of the Swole Ferry tragedy that occurred in 2014. As far as I'm aware, this has never been confirmed by SM, but the references in the music video are very clear. Before I continue, if you haven't seen the music video or listened to One of These Nights, I urge you to go do that now. It's a beautiful, heartfelt song, and the music video is so well done and really interesting to watch. The transitions and the symbolism, just the quality of it is incredibly high. So I urge you to go watch that. Click off this video, go watch that now. It's one of the most beautiful songs and music videos in K-pop, in my opinion. So please go do that if you haven't seen it, because I will be talking about it. So as I said, the music video is filled with symbolism. One of them related to the fact that at the time of recording, Yeri was around the same age as the student victims of the tragedy. And in the music video, Yeri is seen lying on a boat filling with water. And on the front cover of this album, Yeri's face is the only one out of focus. And on the back cover, Yeri is the only one looking at the camera, at the viewer, at the person, at us, at the audience. Ooh, it's very smooth. It's very matte finish. Oh, I'll try and get the camera not to be too loud with the autofocusing. I'm trying to hold it in one place. It's a very matte finish on it. It's very smooth. I feel like most of their albums at this time, which were in this style, were quite glossy and shiny. So that's a bit different. I'll check afterwards actually, in case I'm misremembering. So that's the front, and that is the back. So I've got the sticker. Oh, that's the only thing with this packaging, it's a bit tough to push and pull everything out. I do like how they look all together on the shelf though. There we are, that's the photo book, and this is the CD case. Let's look at this first. That's the front. In the back, the Velvet, very similar to the Red branding. There it is, also very similar to the Red, with the same music note and CD design. Let's try and get this out. I really love this music sheet graphic. I think it's really clever and very effective, although I can't read Korean and I don't know if is that difficult to read? I reckon you could read that. You could if you can read Korean, I'm sure you can make that out. Let me up. That's one thing with this mini album. One of These Nights they did various versions of it. I think my favourite is just the original, to be honest. Credits. And the CD. CD designs of Red Velvet albums are always really interesting. Even though this is quite a simple one, I think it's quite effective, and I like how it mirrors the Red album CD as well. Velvet. It's interesting that it's interesting that the last syllable is on the front, but I guess that's because you need the spine to fold over. And if I bring it closer, see loads of images of them. This reminds me of the start of the Happiness music video, where they have all the girls plus Yeri cut out and in the foreground of the music video. It's not the same, but it just reminds me of it. It also reminds me of Rookie and the style they went for in that. Loads of cut out smaller versions of them all over the place. Maybe this is where the idea came from, and they just followed it through into another album. Right, let's get going. I remember teacups being quite a big thing in all the promotional bits in the music video as well. Doesn't this remind you of Russian roulette, when I'm sure there's a very similar image, but with tennis balls instead. Jerry offering Joy a drink there. I really love this hair on Yeri as well, I thought it was lovely. What is that actually she's holding? Oop, the photo card just fell out. That looks like a syringe. Interesting, that's not what I expected to see. I rewatched the music video before filming this unboxing, and the teacup scene, there's a scene in the music video where it transitions from Joy to a teacup, and it reminded me of a scene in Zimzalabim. There's a lot of connections through all of Red Velvet's music videos, and what I found going back through their old albums, and even looking back through old albums that I have previously, I'm starting to pick up on even more of these connections and motifs that are seen throughout Red Velvet's discography. Red Velvet have such a wide discography. They're not, I mean, as I'm sure we all know, they have their red side and their velvet side, and I think this is their first real dive into their velvet side, which I wish they'd do a bit more, but recently they've mostly been doing sort of almost an amalgamation of both the red and velvet, which is really interesting. Oh, where was I going with this? What was I saying? Oh, what I was saying was they have such a wide range of styles, but there are threads running through all of them that do connect them and are things that we can recognise within each part. So things like the teacups and tea, and the fact they're always sitting around a table in a certain way. They jump styles, but they have a style, if that makes any sense. They jump genres, but they have key elements that they pull through every project that they do. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope that makes sense. See, even like this really reminds me of Russian roulette. And I can't quite put my finger on why. I think it's the colours, the styling, the sort of deadpan face. It's a bit of a strange one, don't know how to explain that. If you notice anything that I haven't picked up on, please leave a comment. I love reading about this stuff. Any connection to the other project. I love this dress. I thought this looked so lovely on her. Is it a syringe or is it a lighter? Might be a lighter that looks like a flame. This is interesting with the furniture being painted blue and mirrored, giving the impression that it's a reflection underwater, perhaps. Oh, and the wall and door are painted like that as well. I wonder if that's in, because I'm pretty sure this is a scene from the music video, but I didn't notice that. I'll have to go back and watch it again. You can see it more clearly in this photo. It's painted a lot further down, but all the furniture, same sort of reflecting, almost like it's underwater and these pieces of furniture are floating. I say almost, I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for. That's the album cover, but all of their faces are in focus. Bring up the camera. And they're also all looking, so it's not the album cover, sorry, it's very similar, but the position is very different. And that is the last page. Here we go. Now time for the photo card. I have already seen this because it fell out in a way that makes it very obvious to me what it is, but it sprays. So, no. Ta-da! Yuri! This is a really lovely photo card. She looks like a princess. And there's the back. Ooh, if you can see, got a little not for sale. I only seen this on the Velvet photo card. I think they stopped doing, not the Velvet, sorry, on the red photo card. They stopped doing that you don't see this as often. And Red Velvet's website. It will focus. It doesn't focus when you want it to, and it focuses when you don't want it to. If I do that beauty influence thing. Oh, it works! There we are. That is the photo card. I'm really happy with that. I think that's a really beautiful photo card. Oh, I'm very happy. Right, well, there we have it. That is the Red Velvet album. Although I have to put it back in the cover now, and that's always a challenge. Let's put that to the side. So the way I like to do it is both at the same time. I think if you do one at a time, one will always fall out when you're trying to put the other in. There we are. Ooh. Don't know if you could hear that squeak, but that was a really sharp squeak. But there we have it. That was a lot easier than I thought. So thank you for watching. I hope you found that interesting, and if you see any symbolisms or links from connecting all these Red Velvet albums and videos, please do comment and let me know, because I absolutely love finding these things, and I will let you know if I spot any more. So thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks. I just noticed, as I was about to put this away, I don't think it's a syringe that Solgi was holding. I think it's this little candle. Oh, they were so close to getting everyone's. I was just thinking maybe it's with all their official colours, but it doesn't. It looks like maybe they're holding each other's official colours, because I can't quite make out what that colour is. That looks blue to me, which is Wendy's colour. That's green, which is Joy's. That's yellow, which is Solgi's. Not sure. That's pink. That's definitely pink. I'm pretty sure, very pale pink. But then that's Irene's. What's the only colour I'm missing? Purple. Maybe it's purple in the centre, and it's just too overexposed to see. Or maybe that's purple and that's pink. Hard to tell. That might be something, that might not be anything. So, oop, don't drop it. There we are.